Welcome everyone to today's lecture. We are on week 6, lecture number 2. Let me start by sharing the screen so we can be seeing what did we cover on the office hours. This was the web page that we have in the office hours. We managed to be respecting the quantity that we have right here. When we click on the add to cart button, it adds to our cart right here. So let's see. Here we are having quantity of 3. So when I click on add to cart, it adds the 3 to the 0, so it's 3. So if I add another 3, respecting the quantity right here, we expect the output to be 6. Here it is. For another product, it is 5. So it is going to add that 5, the quantity that we have, to the 6, which is our cart. So it is going to be 11. We expect this. So let's see. 11. And there you go. So that was the JavaScript function that we covered in the office hours. It was recorded. Feel free to watch it. And if you have any questions, let me know. In today's lecture, just as we got used to, we are right here on week 6. We are right here, Algo and demo lecture. Today, we will be having an algorithm in JavaScript. We'll be talking about arrays and objects. Let me remind you that the belt exam is open for those people who didn't ask for exam code yet. Take your time, no worries, don't rush yourself, but keep in your mind that you have 3 attempts. Try as much as you can to ask for the first exam code, which is the first attempt. Hopefully, you are going to pass from the first attempt. If not, you still have other 2 attempts. Okay? The belt exam is going to be open and unlocked until the end of or by the date of 24th of May. So you still have time to ask for exam code, but I highly recommend you guys to ask for exam code early. And for the people that have asked for exam code and unlocked their exams, all of them has successfully passed the exam, and I'm really glad and happy and proud from all of them. Yay! For the rest of the people, please ask for exam code as soon as you can or as soon as you feel ready. Okay? Don't also forget about the discussion questions. They are open about the core assignments that we have for this week right here. By the end of Sunday or Sunday um, midday, I think 12 p.m. PST, okay, is the um, deadline for the discussion questions. It's due. And for the core assignments also, you must submit them. Okay? So that was for the intro and for our class calendar. Let's see what we'll be having in today's lecture, which is the algorithm for JavaScript. I have prepared those topics to be covering today in this lecture. So first we have data types. All of these right here, except for the for loops, of course, all of these are data types. So strings, integers, booleans, arrays, and objects are our most commonly known data types that we have in JavaScript or in all of the programming languages. Okay? We declare strings in the JavaScript by the keyword variable, then the name of the variable. If it is string, so let's make it a name, okay, equals. If we are dealing with a string, then we will be using those double quotes or single quotes or backtip. All of these 3 right here refers to a string. That means name number 1, for example, name number 2, name number 3. All of these variables right here are going to carry a string because of these quotes right here. So if I say right here, Robin, here, Rachel, here, Bobby. Variable number 1, name 2, name 3, their data types, their types are strings. Why is this? Because of those quotes backtip right here. Okay? This is for the strings. Any questions for the strings? Okay. Let's go for the integers. To declare a variable holding integer, we go for the keyword variable, var, then the name of the variable. If it is string, if it is integer, let's make it an age, for example, equals to, let me say, 29, for example. Notice here that 29 is a number, and it is not added inside of two quotations as this. So that means this variable right now is integer. If I remove those two double quotations, it will be number or integer. Okay? So we refer to integers when declaring them as variables as whole integer like this or whole number as this. If I go right here to variable name 3 equals Bobby and say equals 23, 23 right here will not be a number, is a string. So that variable is a string, not a number, because it is in a backtip, so it refers to a string. Also, any symbols, characters, anything right here can be string as well, as long as it is inside of those two backtips or two quotations or anything. So it doesn't need to be a text. Anything between those two double quotes, single quote, backtip will be a string. When we add number, whole number as this, without the two quotes or without anything, it will be an integer. Okay? For the booleans, we have two options, either true or false. So let me say variable is true equals true, variable is false equals false. The data type for this variable is Boolean. The data type for this variable is Boolean as well, because true is a Boolean, false is a Boolean. The variable name is true, the variable name is false. For the Booleans, any questions? Okay, perfect. Let's jump to the arrays. We said before that the arrays are lists. By other words, we can be having any type of data types from these in a single array or in a single list. First, how to declare or how to define an array. As we said, array is a data type. So we store data types in variables. We declare variables as the keyword variable, var. Then the name of the variable. Since we will be creating an array, let's give it a name of array or ARR as this, or array of anything. So let's name it array for now. Equals. To declare the array, when we could declare string, we used the two double quotes or single quotes or backtip. This is referring to a string. When we declare the number, we insert the whole number, integer, without any quotes or without anything. So it was known to JavaScript that this is a number. True, false, it is known as Boolean. When I open square bracket and like opening square bracket and closing square bracket, this refers to an array. Okay, so let's fill the array together. As I said previously, arrays can carry any data types that we have. So it can carry string. Let me say, who are the names that we didn't use here? Aina, Molly, Kevin. Okay. What are the data types of those three? Strings. We said arrays can carry also integers, booleans, another array. Let me add my name and another integer. That's it. Okay. We have in the array strings, integers, booleans, arrays. So arrays can be holding or carrying any data types that we have. What if we want to console log or print out or use any of the values of this array or these integers of this array? Sorry, we said before that dealing with the arrays, we are going to be dealing with their indices. All of the arrays are starting with index number 0. So here, Ana, when I want to console log it or deal with it or output it, I'm going to call its index, which is index number 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, 6, 7, 8 are my indices in the array. Okay? So now, if I want to console log true, for example, I'm going to say console.log. What is the thing that I want to console? True. True is a value in my array. So I need to be having my array name, which is array. What is the value or what is the thing that I want to output? True. So I will be consoling log or outputting true as its index in the array by having those two square brackets, then the index number. True is index number 6. So I'm going to say here array of 6. Let me console log to see if we will be having true or not. I have here true. That means if I want to console log Kevin, I will be consoling log the index number 2, 0, 1, 2, which is Kevin. I want to console. So console log array of 2, I will be having Kevin right here. But if I want to console log Ahmed right here, I will go for index number 8 because Ahmed is index number 8, but Ahmed right here is in another array. That array starts with the 0 index and so on. Since it is an array, I will be consoling log index number 8, the whole array, specifically index number 0 in that array. This will console log for me Ahmed, as you see right here. If I remove this 0, it will console log the whole small array for me because this is index number 0, 0 in the big array right here. Index number 8, sorry. Here I will be having the whole array. I didn't run or what? Here. The whole array. Okay? That was for the arrays. Any questions for the arrays so far? Anything at all? Okay. Let's talk about the objects. Object is a data type as well, just as the arrays, just as booleans, just as all of the other data types. But I want you guys to know that arrays and objects are data structures. Data structure objects, data structure data types in the programming languages, okay? They are not normal data types, they are data structures, data types, okay? So let's talk about the objects right here. Objects can be stored in a variable. So let me create a variable. Let me name it object. How to declare an object? We know in order for us to declare strings, we will be using those quotations and backtips. To declare arrays, we will be using square brackets. For the objects, we will be using curly brackets. Then, the concept of the objects are always as this: key and value. Key and value. In the arrays, it is index and value. Index and value. So the key in the object is referred as key value. What does this mean? Let me tell you. The key may be my first name. The value will be, let's see which one from you we will be dealing with as our object for today. Let me add Kevin and start our week to see who will be our object for today. Bobby. Okay. Okay, there is a sound, so I need to remove the sound. Yes. Okay, so Bobby is not an object. Bobby is a person. So the first name will be Bobby. What if I want to add another keys and values for Bobby? Like I here have only the first name for Bobby. What if I want to add to Bobby last name? I'm going to say, comma, last name, its value will be, let me see, Kennedy. I hope that I pronounced this correctly. Okay. I'm going to say again, first name is a key. Last name is a key. The value of the key first name is Bobby. The value of the key last name is Kennedy. Okay? What if we want to add another keys and values? Another comma and add whatever I want. Let's say age. Let me guess right here, or I will not guess, I will add any random age. Let me try 31. Okay? So notice here, Bobby is inside of two quotes. Kennedy inside of two quotes. Age is not inside of two quotes. Why is this? Because by logic, when we deal with age, so age is a number. When we deal with numbers, we don't insert them in two quotes as this. We can, but since age will be a number, so let's make it an integer. Okay? Just as the arrays can hold multiple or many data types, the objects as well can hold different data types. This is a string and this is an integer. Let's see what if we want to add another data type or another key and value. Let's try booleans. Let's think of past the exam. I will say true. Okay? So we have string, integer, booleans. Let's see what else that we can add. Can we add arrays? Let's try. I don't know, hobbies, for example. Hobbies. Chess. Basketball. I don't know. Okay? Objects have strings, numbers or integers, booleans, arrays. What other data types that we know about? Objects. So let's add objects. Um, let's try to think another object, for example. We have hobbies. We have... Anyone help me? Favorite movies. Let's try this. Favorite movies. Okay. This is the key since we want to declare object. So we will be having another key, or let's see. Movie 1. Okay. Oh yeah. Since this is an object, so I'm going to declare it as the curly brackets. Movie 1 will be Batman. Then, comma, let me say movie 2 can be Interstellar, and so on. So we have object. That object is having keys. These keys can be any data types that we have. We have string, we have integer, we have Boolean, we have arrays, and we have objects as well. Okay. What if we want to console log or print out or deal with this object right here? We know when we wanted to console log an array, we call the name of the array, then the index of that array. How to print out the age of Bobby right here? In arrays, we deal with it with the index. In the objects, thank you so much for this, Rachel. Yep, I would be calling the name of the object, then the key. So let's see. Let me console.log. I want to console log the age of Bobby, which is 31. So 31 is in person, which is my object. So I'm going to say person. Okay. I want to print out 31. So 31 is my value. I am consoling log and dealing with the object by the key. What is the key to the value 31? My key right here is the age. And to access this, I'm going to access it by the dot. And notice here what will happen when I click on dot. I have all of the keys that are inside of my object. All of these are my keys, right? What do I want to console log? I want to console the age. So I'm going to say person, which is the name of my object, dot. What is the key that I want to use? Age. So let's see what will be my output. We expect what? 31, right? So let's see if this will bring to us 31 or not. 31. There you go. So let me remove this right now, and I want you guys to tell me, what if I want to console log Bobby's last name? Tell me what to write. Oh, by the way, okay. I wanted let me have the wheel of names to let anyone help me right now. Let me remove Bobby, of course. And let's spin to see who will help me. Hey, nah. Okay, tell me what if I want to make sure that Aina won. Yeah, Aina. Okay. Okay. So I wanna console log right now Bobby's last name. Tell me what to write. Of course, if you don't wanna answer, that's fine. No pressure. Tell me.
It would be person.
Person?
Am I doing it sorry, last name you said?
Yes, I want Kennedy right here, which is the last name.
So it'd be person dot last name.
There you go. That's right. Let's see if we will be having Kennedy or not. I'm telling you yes, and yes, Kennedy right here. There you go. Thank you, Aina. Okay. This one will be hard, which is I want to console log basketball. So let's see who will be our unlucky person. Okay. Rachel. I know this is easy for you, of course. I want to be having basketball right here.
Okay, would it be person dot hobbies index 1?
Hobbies index number 1. This is right before running it, but let's see. There you go. Correct. Good job. What happened right here? We wanted to console log basketball, right? So we deal basketball is an array, and that array is inside of an object, right? So basketball, we call it from its key, which is hobbies. So I'm going to say person, which is the my object. So person dot what is basketball um, currently in the hobbies, right? So right now I have all of the hobbies, but I want to be having basketball only. Since basketball is inside of array, I deal and access arrays by their index. So here is the first index, index number 0. Here is the second index, which is index number 1. So that's why Rachel told me hobbies of array of 1, which is basketball. Any questions? If anything is not clear or you want me guys to repeat it, let me know. Okay. For the next one, I am going to answer it myself, which is I want to console log interstellar. How to do it? Actually, let's think together. I'm going to say person. Why person? Because interstellar is in my object, in the scope of my object. So person. Let me say first dot to see my keys. We know that interstellar is in the favorite movies key. So I will be selecting favorite movies. Favorite movies is holding another object. When we dealt, sorry, with arrays, we accessed them by the square brackets. When we deal with integers, sorry, with objects, we access them by, is it square brackets? Is it the dot? Is it the curly brackets? Dot. I saw you, Robin. You you unmuted you're unmuting yourself, but I saw you. And yes, Aina, this will be the correct answer. Thank you so much for this. So since favorite movies is another object, we want to access its keys by another dot. We see movie 1 and movie 2. This will be our keys. To access what? To access the values. What is the value that I want to output? Interstellar. In which key? Movie 2. So favorite movies dot movie 2. Let's console log to see if we'll be having interstellar or not. There you go. Okay. Any questions on the objects? Do professional developers ever do an object within an object within an object like tree? Yes, they do, but it is not like it is not like professional developers and normal developers. It is up to our case. We have cases that we need to be inserting object in an object and so on. So yes, you see it, and yes, it is happening. Um, in the field of the web development, yes, you see it. Okay, and usually we see objects and we deal with objects when we deal and when we yes, when we deal with APIs, which is the topic that we will be covering and talking about in the next lecture, starting on Monday, right? And I will be showing you by the end of this lecture what we will be doing in the next lecture, which you guys are going to be really interested and excited about it. I promise you. By the end of this lecture, we have a surprise. Okay? Thank you for your question. But yes, there are developers that insert objects in an object in an object. Yes, you will see it when you are going to deal with APIs. Okay? Any other questions so far on the objects, on the arrays, on our data types right here? Feel free to ask anything.
It's not really so much a question, but I do like how you said how, I think how to word this, like with the objects, how it has the little curly brackets, and how the arrays have the square brackets and the strings have the quotation marks. I knew that with the strings and the arrays, but I never really like connected it all the way with the objects, so that was just helpful for me to
Mhm.
understand that. So
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for this, Molly. Yeah, because we need to understand, like, in JavaScript, all of our variables are declared as the keyword var. So we need to understand, and right after the var, we have the variable name. So what is the variable exactly? When we see square brackets, that means this is an array. When we see double quotes or single quotes or backtips, that means this is a string. For the curly brackets, that means this is an object, and so on. So that I must say this in order for all of us to understand the difference. Because in the end, when we say a variable and the variable name, we don't see the type of that variable. But when we see curly bracket, oh yes, this is an object. When we see square brackets, oh yes, this is an array, and so on. So yeah, thank you so much for this, Molly. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move to the for loops. Why do we have loops? Why do we use loops? What are the types of the loops? We use the loops. Let me first grab the image that I have for you. Where is it? Where is it? Yes, here it is. Okay, we use loops because, let's see here in our example, we have this array right here. This array is only having 8 indices, or 8, like yes, it has 8 indices. What if my array had 100 indices or thousands of indices? I need to be doing an operation to be accessing whatever index that I want immediately, or I want to be looping through the array in order for me to find the index that I'm searching for example. So in this case, we have only 8 indices, so it's easy. I'm going to count and say, okay, I want the index 77, so I'm going to count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So okay, so console log for me array of 5. It will bring me 77. But what if I have like thousands of indices? So I'm not going to count from 0 to thousands, of course. I will make JavaScript or the programming language count for me. So I need iterator to iterate through or to loop through the whole array, for example. Okay? So this is the purpose, or this is a tiny purpose for me, or a tiny reason for me to be using arrays, to be using loops. We have different kind of loops, not just the for loops, but the common used loops that all of you will be using in your life as developers is the for loops. But we have while loops, do while loops, for each, and for loops. Let's now talk about the for loops. In order for us to be creating a for loop, we have a syntax for that. And that syntax is the keyword for. Then the two brackets. Okay, let's see our image right here. Let me zoom in. Let me grab my pencil. This is the keyword for. These are the brackets that I have just opened. What are these 3 parameters for my for loop? Let's see. Or let's read. The first one is telling us declaration and initializing loop control variable. Okay, I'm not understanding anything. So let's see. When I say variable I equals 0, what is this? This is my starting point from iterating. Okay, so if I'm going to iterate through 50 numbers, I need to be starting from a certain number. I want to be iterating from number 0, from number 1, from number 2. So always I is going to be my starting point, my initialization for entering that for loop. Okay? I separate between my conditions or my parameters by this semicolon right here. Okay? We know about the first one. Let's see the second one. The second one is my condition. That means I'm going to start from 0 until as long as I am my iterator is less than 10. So that means here is my condition, and we are going to know about this, don't worry. But keep in your mind that the second parameter right here is my condition. Then, how much further I want to be moving with my for loop? Do I want to be moving by 1, by 2, multiplication of 3, whatever, okay? In the normal way or in the common ways, it is always I++, which is I am moving ahead or moving forward or incrementing the value of my iterator by 1 only. Then what do I need to do in that for loop? The theoretical part or the theoretical thing right here may seem hard, but when we write it in the code, it will be much easier. So let's try it. First, let me have a look on the chat. Mind blown, I never connected that those were parameters in the for loop. Yes. Yeah. So these are parameters, parameter number 1, 2, 3. We can name them as parameters, but we separate between them by the semicolon. Okay? So let's see right here in our algo. Let's loop from 1 to 50, for example. Okay? When I say loop from 1, we said right here that variable I equals 0. This is my start point. I will be starting with 1. I will be starting with 0. Whatever I pass or I have right here. In this case, this for loop is starting by 0 because I equals 0. Right here, we want to be starting from 1. So my I will be 1. Okay? So I'm going to say variable I equals 1. We have 3 parameters. We separate between those parameters by the semicolon. Okay? So here is what? Is my condition. As you see right here, the second parameter, checking condition or my condition. What will be my condition here?
I less than 50, right?
I less than 50. So I'm saying, I saw you, Ina, from the chat. That's right. Thank you so much. So
an equal.
we, yeah, yep. And I'm going to tell you why. It's going to be I less than or equal. Okay? I'm starting my for loop with 1. As long as I am less than 50, let me through. Here, let me through right here. Okay? So when we say I less than 50, that means when we reach to 49, that means my I is 49. Is 49 less than 50? Yes. So I will be entering right here. Then it will be incremented I++. It will be 50. Is 50 less than 50? No. So we will not be having 50 as my output. But if I say less than or equal to 50, is it less than 50? No. Is it equals to 50? Yes, 50 is equal to 50. So let me through. Okay, so that's why I less than or equal to 50 will be our case right here. This is our for loop. These are my parameters. this will be my body, my statement for the for loop. What do I need to do? I need to console log these numbers. So let me console.log I. I is what? I is the number that I'm having right here. It is 1. As long as 1 is less than 50, console log it. So I will be having here 1. Then what? Then I plus plus. That means I is going to be equal to 2. Is 2 less than 50? Yes. So it will be 2. Then I plus plus, and so on. So that's why I'm consoling log I. Let's see the output. See if we will be having from 1 to 50 or not. Let's see. Run 1 50. So our code is correct. Our code is working fine. I want you to have a look on it and tell me if you have any questions.
No, it's fine. I was used to get confused of thinking I was always adding first and then not letting it log. So I always be like, I will always start like two. I'm like, oh, I forget like the plus plus is more after you console logs. It always threw me for a loop. No pun intended. But it was one of the things I definitely dealt with when we were trying to do a lot of these for loops and stuff.
Yep, there you go, Bobby. And I'm going to tell you the steps right here. This is the first step for my for loop. Then checking if my check or if the thing that I'm checking is met what I want, it will go right here to my body, then increment the value of I. Okay, so 1, 2, if it has met my condition, it will apply it, then increment. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions in the for loop?
To do the same thing, couldn't you also do I is less than like 51, and then it would still log the 50?
There you go. That's right. So when we console log when we check if I less than 50, we expect that 50 is not less than 50. So it will not console log 50, right? So let's try it. It will console log until 49. Let's see. We have here 1 till 49, as you see. Just as you said, because it is not letting the 50 enter, because 50 is not less than 50. But what if we say less than 51? So that means 50 is less than 51? Yes. So it will go right here. Then it increments to 51, and 51 will not be with us. So this will be correct. It will bring to us from 1 to 50. There you go. That's right. Okay. But I always prefer to use the less than or equal, to be honest. Okay. The algorithm book really helped me understand the order. Okay, are you referring to the algorithm book as instructor Ahmed or not? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, so let's have another example on the for loops right here, which is I wanna loop through my array right here. So let me comment this array. Let me have the array right here. I wanna loop through this array. I wanna be having these values in the array as my output. And you guys are going to loop through many arrays in your life as a developer. I promise you this. So you need to know how to loop through the arrays. How to loop through the array? When I
Well,
say,
we would
go ahead.
well, we would do the 4,
For,
and then it would be I equals 0, or var I equals.
there you go, variable I let me tell you something before you answer right now. We need to keep in mind that the arrays are starting with the index of 0 or the index of 1. This is a question for everyone.
0.
0. Yes, there you go. Right. Here we were starting looping from 1. So this will not be our case. If we start looping from 1, it will loop from Molly. It will not see Ana right here because Ana is index number 0. So whatever value we pass right here must be 0 because we want to loop from the first element, which is index number 0. So here is my starting point. I'm looping from Ana until what?
Array
Array
dot length.
dot length.
There you go. That's right, Rachel and Molly. Thank you so much. Array dot length. What is array dot length and like why did I use it? Oh,
Well,
by the way, here,
I is less than array dot length.
yeah, of course, that's right. Thank you for
Sorry.
reminding me. Yeah, that's right. Okay, when I hovered over array.length, tells me gets or sets the length of the array. This is a number or higher than the highest index in the array. That means what? Let me zoom out. Here. Here is my array, right? My condition is as long as I am in the array. So that means if I went out of my array or if I go out of my array, I will stop. I want to be going through the whole array. I want to be going through all of the array. So as long as I am in the indices of the array, so I need to be having the length of the array. So array.length will work. Also, I less than 8 will work. Why array less than 8 will work? Because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? So instead of counting, I'm using the array dot length. Please count the array for me as long as I am in it, I++. Then console.log. What do we want to output? What do we want to console? We want to console log the values. I want to console log Ana, Molly, Kevin, and so on. How to console log them? We call the values in the array by the array name of their index. So this will be our case. Array name is array of what will be my index? Is it going to be 0? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be what? What? I. There you go. Yep. Thank you, Rachel, Molly, and Robin. It will be I. Why? Because I is starting from the first element. Then I is incremented, so it will go to the second element. Then it will be incremented, it will go to the third element, and so on. So I is my index in the array. Let's console log to see the output to make sure that we did this correctly. There you go. I have Ana until Ahmed 55, which is my last element in the array. Okay? If I go to less than 8, I expect to see the same result. Let's see. Okay, I didn't see the same result. It stopped at false. It didn't console log the last element. Why is this?
Because 8 is not less than 8.
Yep, that's right. So we need, so we need to be adding 9 or less than or equal 8. Okay, so let's try it. There you go. I have it right now. Okay, what if I went out of the scope of the array? Meaning, I added here like less than or equal to 10, for example. Is my array having 10 indices? No, it's having only 8 indices. So let's see what will happen. Why is this? Because we have no index as index number 9. We have no index as index number 10. So it is undefined. Okay? What if we wanna console log until 22? What will be my condition right here? Tell me, anyone?
Less than 5.
Less than 5. Yep. Or less than or equal to 4. There you go. How did this work? Thank you so much for this, Rachel. How did this work? Let me clear the annotation. I want to be consoling log until 22. Okay, so I need to be in the scope of the array I of 0, I of 1, I of 2. Sorry, array of 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Is 0 less than 5? Yes, so I will be having ANA. Then I plus plus. I will be having 1. Is 1 less than 5? Yes, so I will be having Molly. I plus plus, so I will be 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, so I will be having Kevin. I plus plus, it will be 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, I will be having 13. I plus plus, it will be 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes, I will be having 22. I plus plus, I will be 5. Is 5 less than 5? No. So this is my end. I'm having 22 as my last index. Is this clear? If you guys are having any questions, please ask. Feel free to ask anything.
So if you wanted to just do just like Kevin or you wanted to get true, would you just put the number where the I is at, or forgot how would you get that part in terms of trying to figure it out? Or just do it up to the spot, yeah, I guess whatever makes sense.
You have two cases for this. Let's say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I want to console log 77, okay, I will be saying less than its index, which is 5. This will not bring to me 77. If I say less than or equal to its index, it will bring for me 77. Until 77, of course. As you see right here. So it will be
Right.
less than or equal its index, or less than index plus 1. It's up to you. I prefer to use the index that I want with equals, like less than or equal to the index that I want. Did this answer your question?
Well, I was just saying just 77. So if you want to do just 77, would you just do array and would you just put 5 there instead of I? Or how would you, I guess how would you get that? Kind of forgot that step in terms of just if you just wanted to get 77 instead of having to run the loop.
This
Was
is
that
a
not
nice
possible?
question. Yeah, this is a nice question, let me tell you. Yep, I will be saying, like, of course, I will not be having for loop for now. I will be saying console log
You just do it normally. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
array of 5.
Okay.
Okay, will bring for me 77.
Yeah,
But
because
what?
it's gonna be list. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it's index number 5 having the value of 77, so bring for me the index number 5, which is having the value of 77. Okay? But you bring to us here a nice idea that we can talk about right now. What if I wanna loop through the array, okay, and output true, only true? Like I don't want to output until I meet true. No, I wanna output true only. So we
Do
will be
a if statement.
there you go. I will be creating a condition. If my array of I equals true. Okay, let's say 77, not true. If my array of I equals 77, and of course we need to be iterating through the whole array, so I less than array dot length, right? Let me now say if array of I less than equals 77, console.log it was found in the, let me do this. Index. Okay, let's see what will be my output to this code. Then I'm going to demonstrate it, of course. Oh, we have an error. I less than, okay, I didn't select the array with me. So let me select it. It was found in the 5th index. It way. Anyway, let's see what happened right here. And you know what? If anyone is understanding this, please enlighten us with it. If anyone is understanding what happened, feel free to unmute yourself or drop in the chat to make us understand before me explaining it, of course.
I could try maybe to explain.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we're looking through the whole array, and then with that if statement, we're saying if the the array of i's of the current index number that we're on is equal to 77, then telling it to console log that statement right there. And then it's and then I think at that point it just like stops the loop.
It doesn't stop the loop. Like, thank you so much for explaining this. Everything was correct, other than stopping the loop. It's not stopping the loop. It is just like when it met that, it went through the whole loop. It didn't stop, but when it met that value, it came to that body of that if condition and applied it. Then it was incremented and continuing looping through the array. Okay, thank you so much for explaining this. I'm going to say it again. We are iterating through the whole array. How is this? I have from the starting point, which is index number 0, as long as I am in the array.length. So that means I am iterating through the whole array. I'm having an if condition. If my index that I'm currently in right now equals to 77, I will be consoling log its index. I here refers to the index of that array. Okay, so let's say equals to Aina. Okay, so what will be this I? Is it going to be 0? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 8? We have from the chat 0 from Rachel, 0 from Molly. What do you guys think? Why it isn't 1? And for those of you who are not understanding the question, let me know. 0 from Robin. Okay, yes, the correct answer is 0 from Bobby. The correct answer will be 0, that's right. But I want you guys to remember that we are reached the end of our actual time of the lecture. Feel free to leave if you want to. It is recorded. and we are done. Like this is the last example that we will be having today. So let's continue, but feel free to leave if you want to. Okay. Again, I was checking if my index equals, when I say array of I, that means I'm having here index in the array, so I'm grabbing the value. So if my value equals to Aina, console log the I that I have right here. So let's say my first I is 0. So I'm having here 0. What is array of 0? Aina. So is Aina equals to Aina? Yes. So I am right here. Console log, it was found in the I. What is I? I is my 0. I didn't increment yet, so it will be 0. Then I plus plus, so it will be 1, and so on. But since my condition is met here, I am canceling log the I or my index in this condition, which was 0 right here. So let's try it. It was found in the zeros, zeroth index. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So that was the end of our lecture. I will be stopping the recording and be staying here for all of you if you have any questions. So let's stop the recording.